All right, Mo. So we out here. We're trying another curry dish. And which one is this one today?
This is Vindaloo.
Vindaloo. Vindaloo. So we made some boneless, skinless chicken thighs and let it simmer in a simmer sauce. Woo! Nice and spicy. I love it. Very good. Vindaloo curry. It's got peppers, onions in the simmer sauce too, so it's not like just one note or just seasons. It's really, really good. What's going on, Mo? So, like I said, in the kitchen, I'm enjoying some Vindaloo curry. So far, so far. So, what I actually want to do right now is I want to take a quick impromptu moment because life is like that, right? And kind of look into the history of Vindaloo curry because I like the history of food in general, but learning stuff like this is always fun for me because I can kind of explore my own tastes and then learn a little bit about culture and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly look up the information because it's 2025 and on, and we can do what we want. And so using AI here, I'm gonna go with my buddy Gemini, just to be really quick. And Gemini says that the history of Vindaloo curry, a tale of fusion. I gave it a cute little name. Vindaloo is one of the most famous and spiciest curries in the world, but its origins are a fascinating story of culinary fusion between Portugal and India. I would have never guessed. Specifically, the coastal state of Goa. The dish traces its roots to a Portuguese preparation brought to Goa, I hope I'm saying that right, by explorers and colonists in the early 15th century. The original dish was a carne de vinha, I hope I'm saying that right, which translates to meat in wine and garlic. And the purpose of the dish was a simple way to preserve raw ingredients like pork, beef by marinating them in red wine and garlic, often packed in wooden barrels on long sea voyages. Now, one thing I do know about our current state of food right now is that we've learned pretty much through technology and science better ways to travel and like transport different recipes and foods and stuff like that. So I can only imagine what lukewarm, probably hot, marinating pork or beef sitting in a wooden barrel and spices probably tasted like. It probably tasted amazing, but I would say today is probably the better version of this coming, along the line of, technological advances. But that sounds pretty crazy because that means a recipe like this, you would have to actually get someone to make and then actually ship towards you. You couldn't just, like I did, find like a quick simmer sauce and get something like that. So it's pretty crazy. And so it says the etymology of the name Vindaloo is a phonetic adaptation of the Portuguese words vinho, which is wine, which became vinegar, and alho, which is garlic. So Vindaloo. Okay, I get it. And so the Goan transformation. So AI is helping us to understand that when the Portuguese settled in Goa, which they ruled in 1961, local Goan cooks adapted the recipe using regional ingredients, fundamentally changing the dish into the Vindaloo we know today. So this is where the fusion comes from in the beginning. And it says that the vinegar substitute, and this is where Goa made its differences. Lacking readily available European red wine, local cooks substituted it with palm vinegar fermented from palm wine, which gave the dish its characteristic strong acidic tang. And I actually like that. Let me get a little bit of that. So actually, before I go on, when I did first taste this, the first thing I thought of was Southwest or South American chili, like the kind of flavors it gave. And that kind of makes sense when we think about like Portugal and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So Indian spices were incorporated, including regional ingredients like tamarind, black pepper, cinnamon, and cardamom. We say these names today like they're just nothing, but just think how hard it was to find tamarind back then, or cardamom, or even cinnamon. And then also the spice, the crucial heat. Most significantly, the Portuguese introduced the chili pepper to India from the Americas. This ingredient was embraced by Goan cooks and led to the fiery heat that defines the modern Vindaloo. Yeah, and I definitely can taste the cultural mix in there. It's kind of crazy when you learn about it. But if you know me, I had to get a little angle there. Had to put a little sriracha pepper sauce in there because I like the more immediate heat, I guess you could say. And then last, it talks about the modern adaptation, which is probably the version I'm tasting, more likely than anything. It says that the Vindaloo evolved into a staple of Goan cuisine, particularly among the Catholic community, where it is traditionally made with pork. So if you go to Catholic church, you might eat this. And it has British influence, which states that the dish gained global popularity, especially in the United Kingdom, where British Indian restaurants popularized a version that is often an intensely hot, simple curry. This version often differs from the Goan original, which focuses on a balance of heat, tanginess, and spice, which I think is the version we're having here. Because it's not extremely spicy, and I've had true Indian curry, and it's like immediately spicy. And it says here, it mentions a potato misconception. So let me know in the comments what this may be about. And it says, outside of Goa, many Vindaloo recipes include potatoes. This is largely due to the similar sound of the Hindi word for potato, aloo, which has no connection to the dish's Portuguese name, vinha dalos. I hope I'm saying that right. Traditional Goan Vindaloo does not typically include potato. We don't have potato in ours. We just have chicken thighs and rice. And the sauce comes with some seasoning vegetables like onion and garlic and, the typical seasoning stuff. So there we have it with AI, a little help with Gemini, and it says that the history of Vindaloo is a perfect example of a dish that traveled across continents, clearly, was adapted with local ingredients and culinary traditions, and evolved into a unique and world-renowned food. So very, very fun. So we checked out Chetnod curry last time, Vindaloo curry this time. I actually was not expecting the Portuguese influence, but I tasted it before anything, and I just didn't want to point it out because I didn't know how to explain it before I learned it, but this is pretty interesting. So let me know in the comments what's the next flavor we should check out. And if you have any other cultures you think I should check out, let me know that as well. But we're out, y'all. Peace.